What's going on, guys? Welcome to Everything Always. My name's Michael Remen, aka Allfires. Now, even though multiple recasts have happened for a myriad of reasons in the almost 20-year history of the MCU, obviously it's not something Marvel Studios ever wants to do, and the bigger the character, the more this is true. However, and it's worth pointing out for the irony alone given the topic of today's video, probably the biggest recast in MCU history was the Hulk, from Edward Norton to Mark Ruffalo, and now it appears as though his counterpoint in She-Hulk may be up for the exact same fate. Given this latest update and coming from an anonymous Twitter scoopster who's pretty well known in the Marvel Scoop game, Marvel Studios was looking to include She-Hulk in a huge role in one of the upcoming Avengers films, but it looks like they may be up for a full recast instead. We're breaking it all down, this latest bombshell, and what it means for She-Hulk's future in the MCU. But first, if you could grab the subscribe button, we do daily Marvel content at the channel. Thanks to everyone who's been subbing lately. I know the hype for Avengers Doomsday is getting extremely real now that we're right around the corner for the trailer. If you want to keep up to date with everything breaking Marvel, hit the sub button, leave a comment down below. It's the best way to support us, plus it'll enter you for the giveaways. Stick around to the end of the video. We get into all the giveaway stuff again there. Okay, so this is the latest according to the industry insider and anonymous Twitter scoopster My Time to Shine Hello, who has been in the Scoop game for quite some time. We've been re-reporting on them basically as long as we've had this channel. What we will say is, while we give a lot more reverence to those who are willing to put their names on it, no scooper has gotten everything 100% right. Take that as you will. This is their latest update. Quote, Marvel Studios wanted to use She-Hulk in a big way for Avengers Secret Wars. The problem is that Tatiana Maslany has no interest in working for Disney. If they're unable to convince her to return, the options are to remove the character altogether or recast the role. And if you're not familiar with the drama that's been going on between Tatiana Maslany and Marvel's parent company Disney, you may remember that real recently she, on her social media, told everybody to cancel their Disney Plus subscriptions, and basically a boycott of Disney because they had temporarily canceled the Jimmy Kimmel live show. And this was widely reported, as you may suspect, across a lot of outlets, regardless of which side of the issue you find yourself on. If you work for Disney and Marvel in the capacity that you are She-Hulk, and then you tell all of the audience on your social media to cancel Disney Plus, well, you can see why there may be a bit of a problem. Now, before I speculate just a little bit in the rest of this video, I do want to reiterate that this is not confirmed. This is coming from a Twitter scoopster who's been in the game for a while, but it doesn't mean it's 100% true. But I have to wonder if this isn't a little bit of Tatiana Maslany doesn't want to work with Disney because they don't want her to work with Disney. There's got to be some tension on both sides here, and so it may be easier for her to say, hey, I don't want to return as She-Hulk. And what I'm speculating here, I'll just say it out loud, is maybe it's not totally up to her. What I will also say is that while she was the brunt of some very unfair criticism from a small corner of the internet that generates negative white noise around any Disney project, her show She-Hulk definitely deserved a ton of the criticism that was levied against it as far as the quality of the show, the quality of the CGI, the quality of the writing, and the character arc alone. It was some of Marvel's worst work, and so it doesn't matter that She-Hulk on Disney Plus was an artifact of a regime that was trying to push out quantity over quality. We live in a world where the fair criticism sometimes allows the unfair criticism to slip through the cracks, and vice versa. The unfair criticism always seems to be the loudest, whether it's warranted or not. All that to say, there's a bit of contention surrounding her character in the first place. Now, is Marvel going to recast her character if she doesn't want to be a part of Avengers Secret Wars? I think that's at least interesting to consider, because her role as a part of the MCU wasn't that big in the first place. So when My Time to Shine Hello says it could be a character removal or a recast, I think either here is doable. Of course, if she's not a part of Secret Wars or Doomsday, I think there will be very little outcry for why didn't we see Jennifer Walters' She-Hulk? Conversely, if they were to recast her in Avengers Secret Wars, how many people even watch She-Hulk? How many people didn't watch She-Hulk that are going to see these two Avengers movies? And if the actress changes, people are still going to know who She-Hulk is. In fact, if they didn't see She-Hulk in the first place on Disney Plus, they are not going to be familiar with any actress being in that role. It won't even be a recast to them. And I think that this is perhaps one of those silver linings where a lot of the fans that will have their butts in chairs in the theaters at the box office for Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars maybe didn't watch a majority of the Disney Plus shows. They're going to know who Miss Marvel is. They're going to know who She-Hulk is. Did they watch Miss Marvel and She-Hulk on Disney Plus? Unlikely. And Marvel Studios knows that in order to break this $2 billion looming amount that they want for each Avengers film, that they're going to need people who didn't watch the shows to be in the chairs. Meaning you can recast a character like She-Hulk. Not only will no one care, a lot of people won't even know. And I will for a minute pause and say, if you're a Tatiana Maslany stan, if you liked She-Hulk, there is nothing wrong with that. I say it often at the channel. Don't let anybody tell you how to feel about art. If you like something, you like it. If you don't, you don't. In fact, Iron Man 2 is one of my favorite Marvel movies, right up there with Infinity War, Winter Soldier, and Guardians of the Galaxy 1. I put it amongst the best, really because of its rewatchability. And I know a lot of people don't like it, but again, it's art. You can feel any way you want to feel. And so if you are all in on She-Hulk, you want her to show up, you know, there's something about money that has a way of making people come around. And while the numbers for some of these actors and actresses are not anywhere near as high as you would think, money is money, and Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars should be two of the biggest movies, if not the biggest movies of all time, and actors have egos. Kind of sounds like part of the reason we're in this position in the first place. So what I'm really trying to get at here is that this report could be true, but it could also turn out that Tatiana Maslany's She-Hulk shows up in Avengers Secret Wars, well, because negotiations. Also, she wouldn't be the first or the only actor to voice their, disgust with Disney at any given time. And there were plenty of other actors who stood in solidarity with Jimmy Kimmel, who maybe didn't tell their entire audience to cancel Disney Plus, but definitely said that they were on Kimmel's side. One of them being Pedro Pascal, Reed Richards, and let's face it, they're not recasting him. So still some things to see in the fallout, but when it comes to a character like She-Hulk, Tatiana Maslany should know she's not the Hulk. She's not Reed Richards, and just reading the tea leaves, I don't think Marvel's want to not recast a character when it comes to someone like She-Hulk will be as strong as, say, if it were a different mainstream character. Got nothing to do with her as an actress, literally just with the character herself. But you guys let me know all your thoughts down below about any and all of this. You may have a completely different take. I'm very curious to hear it. And although I always say, take everything with a grain of salt, this one to me is believable, especially given the last year that we've had. And of course, all of the conversation, quote unquote, as a nice way of putting it, surrounding the She-Hulk TV show. Let me know all your thoughts down below. Quickly, let's get into the giveaway stuff before I let you go. All right, still giving away PS5s for every Marvel drop. That'll start up next year with Wonder Man. It's going to be December tomorrow, and we're going to keep giving away the Fire and Ash tickets leading up to the drop for the trailer for Avengers Doomsday, as well as some comic variant drops throughout the holiday season. If you want to be entered to win, just be a sub, leave a comment, because it's truly random. The more videos you comment on, the better chance you have of winning. Make sure to hit the notification bell with all notifications turned on to keep up with the videos. And of course, if you like today's video, I'd appreciate it if you'd hit the like button. My name is Michael Roman. Find me on Instagram and Twitter at IamFires. Find me on all other platforms with original music under the name All Fires. And while I would sincerely appreciate you checking my music out, thanks for checking this channel out. Stick around. We'll be posting again real soon.